coverage you can count on. This is a WNEM TV5 First Warn 5 Winter Weather Alert.
That winter weather alert in Michigan slammed by snow. We'll have a lot more on that in just a moment. But first,
breaking news tonight, a Saginaw County man is dead and another man is in custody in connection with what investigators are calling a homicide. Police say the body of a 60-year-old Brant Township man was found inside his home in the 13,700 block of Merrill Road at around 1 this afternoon.
Sources tell us there were obvious signs of trauma, but they would not elaborate. Deputies did take a suspect into custody, and that person is being questioned, but there are no charges filed at this time. Once again, that breaking news, a 60-year-old Brant Township man is dead, the victim of an apparent homicide. One suspect is in custody. Stay with TV5 as we bring you updates as they come into the continuous news center.
Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous view from our Midland and Bay City cams just a few hours ago. Let it snow, let it snow.
Taking a look at those cameras now, you can see a lot of snow coming down still, and it's a cold one out there. Thank you for joining us on TV5 News at 11. I'm Elena Holland.
And I'm Matt Stevens, and this winter weather event is not finished. Meteorologist Dan Giroux joins us now with what we can expect overnight.
Yeah, well, we're going to continue to see snowfall for a little while, but it is already starting to taper off in some areas. We'll cover that in just a minute. First, here's a look out at Owasso High School. You can see that it is a bit snow-covered out there. Even the parking lot, and under the lights, you can tell where that snow is. Not a lot of snow, but there is some out there. And then here's a look at Birch Run right now, I-75. Moving along relatively smoothly. There are some slow spots, so if you do head out on the roads, just be advised the roads may be a little bit on the slick side. Just keep that in mind. Now, the snow is reducing visibility in many areas. In fact, in some areas, it's less than 1 mile of visibility. We're talking areas like Mount Pleasant, Elma, Bad Axe, but everybody else looking at less than 2 miles of visibility. So Saginaw, Flint, Lapeer, Carroll, all dealing with less than 2 mile visibility. That's because of this snow, but you can see it's already starting to move out here on First Warn 5 Pinpoint Doppler in areas like Elma and even farther south like Lansing. That's where we're also starting to see some of that snow exit. The US 127 corridor, it's starting to exit. And over time, it will, just not for the next couple of hours. So far, we've seen about 3 inches in Poseyville. That's the highest total we've seen. Lake George, Merrill dealing with 1.5 inches. St. Louis, 0.5 inch. Those were a little while ago. And then tomorrow, well, we're going to dry out. But that doesn't mean we're going to stay dry for the rest of the week. We'll time out the rest of your forecast coming up in your First Warn 5 7-day forecast, guys.
All right, thanks a lot, Dan. The president-elect continues to work to put his presidential team together, and that includes building relations with the head of Congress.
House Speaker Paul Ryan interviewed with 60 Minutes discussing how his relationship with the president-elect has grown. Ryan says the two talk daily and that any comments made in the past are in the past. Ryan also discussed policies the two will be tackling in Mr. Trump's first year of office.
Health care will be the first issue addressed by Congress. Ryan also confirmed a deportation force is not being built. And Donald Trump renews his threat against U.S. companies that move their operations out of the country. In a series of tweets, the president-elect promised lower taxes and fewer regulations on businesses. But companies that move jobs outside the United States won't get the same benefit. Trump also wants a 35% tax on companies that fire employees and build factories in foreign countries and then sell products back to the United States.
We're still waiting tonight for a federal court judge to rule on Jill Stein's request that the Michigan recount start immediately instead of on Wednesday as scheduled. There was a 3-hour hearing in Detroit today that ended at about 4 p.m. with Judge Mark Goldsmith saying he'd issue a written ruling. Previously, he said Stein would have to prove irreparable harm could be caused by waiting for the recount to begin Wednesday.
In developing news now, police are searching for a woman that took off on foot after colliding with another car. Police say the accident occurred around 9 this morning at the intersection of Genesee and Hill in Saginaw. The two cars collided in the intersection, then one of the drivers ran away from the scene. Police searched the car but found no proof of insurance.
We're still looking into the events leading up to a suspicious death on Saginaw's west side. Police pulled bloody clothing from a dumpster yesterday at a Dollar General store. They say it's linked to a body also found yesterday near Harstuff and 25th Street in Bona Vista. The victim's identity has not been released, but authorities say a suspect is in custody.
Other breaking news tonight, a major win for protesters of the Dakota Access Pipeline. The Army Corps of Engineers denied a permit for the pipeline to be built underneath a lake. Developers will now look for alternative routes. Protesters have been fighting the pipeline for months, protecting the nearby Standing Rock Sioux tribe from possible contamination.
And the search for evidence continued throughout the day in California after that tragic fire during a rave party in an Oakland warehouse early Saturday. The death count so far is 33. Investigators say they've combed about 70% of the burned out structure. Authorities say the warehouse had been illegally converted into artist studios and living spaces. No official cause yet.
The march across Cuba has ended. Now Fidel Castro has been laid to rest as the country continues to mourn. The convoy carrying the ashes of the former Cuban president toured the streets of Santiago for the final time. The convoy passed thousands of people waving Cuban flags in homage to the man who led the 1950s Cuban Revolution. In a private ceremony, Castro was interred in a cemetery next to the remains of other national leaders.
We wish you the best of luck finding the perfect tree this holiday season, but for those taking to the woods, you need to be extra careful. TV5's Cameron Riddle takes a look at a few things you can do to make sure the new decorations don't lead to serious damages.
It's a must-have item that you won't find in Walmart or at the mall, a real-life Christmas tree, planted and raised right here in Michigan. Tom Cluck, owner of Cluck's Nursery, says people buy real trees for the experience that comes with finding, picking, and chopping down that perfect tree.
A lot of people enjoy the experience. As much maybe as the tree. You know, we offer wagon rides on the weekend and some concessions and a bonfire.
When you bring a real tree into your house, you're bringing in nature, and if not cared for properly, a Christmas tree can become a fire hazard.
The key is the water initially. The first 4, 5, 6 days is when it takes the most water.
He says keeping the tree watered is all he advises his customers to do and keep the tree away from heat vents. Other than that, he says real Christmas trees won't have any problems in your living room even after you put the lights on.
That does not affect the tree. We've been selling trees for about 80 years now, and really, when across the state and all across the country, there's very, very, very few incidents.
If you're like me, you might prefer a tree that comes out of a box, but for the people who come here to chop down trees like this, they say chopping a real tree is just not a preference, it's tradition.
I like the smell, and I just like the tradition. I came out with my family. We did it for years. I don't know where we went, but we always came out and we cut them down, so we just kind of started too, and we had a family.
Jeff Hagrel says he and his family have been coming to Cluck's for the past 4 years to get a new tree, while also still remembering those same old rules.
Keep it wet, and you want to keep the room, not too dry.
In Saginaw, Cameron Riddle, WNEM TV5 News.
Yeah, good advice, because according to the U.S. government, more than 200 house fires are Christmas tree related every year, causing an average of more than $16.2 million damage.
A big night for the Saginaw Spirit, the team taking part in a piece of history. Tonight was the final game the Ontario Hockey League played at the Joe. Fans came from all over to watch the Spirit take to the ice one final time, just for a chance to say goodbye.
This is like old home here. I mean, and for Saginaw to play in the Joe, come on, man, it don't get any better than that.
Nick Austin will have a full breakdown of the highlights coming up in Sports Extra.
Well, quite a few Michigan football teams made postseason bowl games, and here's the list. The Michigan Wolverines play Florida State in the Orange Bowl. Undefeated Western Michigan takes on Wisconsin in the Cotton Bowl. Central Michigan faces Tulsa in the Miami Beach Bowl, and Eastern plays Old Dominion in the Bahama Bowl. And for Michigan State fans, nothing. Early recruiting.
Wah, 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 right? State officials are moving forward with plans to improve infrastructure.
The plans will last decades and create many jobs.
And officials are hoping a ruling could raise the funds needed to clean up one of Michigan's lakes. But first, here's Dan.
With that snow that is slowly going to be moving out, we'll time that out coming up for you in your First Word 5 hour-by-hour forecast.
As you can see at the bottom of your screen, schools are closing. Did you know you can find out if the school is closed on the TV5 app? I have it on my tablet, and our schools are closed today.
School closings even make us feel like kids again.
Be a fast, accurate TV5 on air, online, and on your mobile device. It's coverage you can count on.
Yes! I'm going back to bed.
Why would you do your Christmas shopping where you just bought your pumpkin pie? Because Christmas shopping at Meijer is easier than online. No accounts to create, emails to confirm, or days to wait for shipping. Just surf over to the next aisle for all the great deals everyone else is searching for. Like amazing BOGOs on all board games and video games too. All week long. Just put them into your cart, a real cart with your actual hands, and take them home. It's as easy as pie. It's the season to believe. You get more at Meijer.
In 1916, Warren Miller chose auto owners insurance. Later, his son made the same choice, as did his grandson. And today, his great-granddaughter did the same. As we celebrate 100 years, we're grateful to our independent agents and to those who have put their trust in us, and to the generations who will. Auto Owners Insurance.
Owen Moore Agency is your local independent auto owners insurance agency.
Farm Bureau insurance agents understand there are many moments in our lives. Day-to-day life, with its unpredictable ups and downs, promising beginnings and joyous celebrations, personal accomplishments, and the pride of ownership. And perhaps the best moments of all, the love and security of home and family. That's why we're here to protect all of your life's moments. Farm Bureau Insurance, Michigan's insurance company.
Sarah Simnich and Craig McMorris. WNEM TV5 Wake Up. Weekday mornings starting at 5.
WNEM's First Warn 5 Pinpoint Doppler Radar is brought to you by Blackmore Row Insurance Agency, your local auto owner's agent.
Across Michigan, the public now sees the big picture of the government's role in revitalizing the Motor City. The White House released a report yesterday detailing the 5-year partnership between Detroit and the federal government. Assistance included federal staff assigned to City Hall as advisors, $260 million to battle blight, and help installing 65,000 streetlights.
And state lawmakers are working on, quote, bold solutions to improve Michigan's infrastructure. The 21st Century Infrastructure Commission will hold a news conference tomorrow to lay out its 30 to 50-year vision. The plan works to create better-paying jobs and healthier communities.
The western basin of Lake Erie has had an algae problem since the 1990s. Now Representatives Debbie Dingell of Michigan and Marcy Kaptur of Ohio are pressuring the Environmental Protection Agency to declare western Lake Erie an impaired waterway. The action could result in funding that would finally clean it up.
Stay with us. TV5 News at 11. We'll be right back after the break.
Meteorologist Dan Giroux will take a full look at your forecast as we head into the work week.
But first, hundreds returning to their homes after massive evacuations. But while thankful to still be alive, we'll tell you why they think safety systems failed them.
Weather first, every night on TV5 News at 10 p.m. on My 5.
Health Plus is now HAP, featuring a large network of providers that includes thousands of leading doctors, hospitals, and pharmacies, taking great care of Michigan and you. Welcome to HAP. Health Plus is now HAP, providing quality benefits and the care you need, taking great care of Michigan and you. Welcome to HAP.
The Butterburger is made of just 3 cuts of fresh Midwest beef. Nothing more, nothing less. So we got the sirloin, the chuck, and the plate. No fillers, that's it.
All price cuts, all well marbled for richness and flavor.
This is where those 3 wonderful cuts of beef come together.
You can just tell that blend is working in there.
And we sear them, and that seals in the juices of the burger.
It doesn't get any better than that.
And that's the Culver's Butterburger. Welcome to Delicious.
What really inspired my weight loss journey was my daughter. I wanted to be sure I could be active with her. I lost 50 pounds in 18 weeks with Medical Weight Loss Clinic. They helped me outline a healthy diet and gave me the support to stick with it. Now I have the energy to keep up with her, on and off the court.
Lose up to 30 pounds for $149. Lab work included. Call Medical Weight Loss Clinic at 1-800-GET-SLIM.
The Doctors, weekdays at 3 on WNEM TV5.
The Mike Morse Law Firm is Michigan's largest personal injury firm. We got there by taking every case personally. For almost 25 years, 10,000 cases, from accidents to seniors neglected in nursing homes, infants born with cerebral palsy, defective hip implants, the financial loss you suffer when your employer won't pay you the overtime you deserve. It's all about getting you justice and compensation.
Police in Elkhart, Indiana overnight killed one man and wounded another when they fired into a car. Details are scarce on this one still, except that police say 2 other people were wounded by gunfire before they arrived, and that it all started with a burglary. No officers were injured.
A small accident was a close call in Ohio. A train derailment could have had tragic consequences, but missed it by chance. Now picture this, several train cars derailed near Toledo. 2 cars flipped over on their sides, and inside a highly flammable chemical. And even worse, you can see there's right there on your screen, part of the train struck a tower which supports high-tension power lines. Miraculously, none of the chemicals leaked out of the overturned cars.
Some fake news reports not worth repeating here were the cause of a real scare in Washington, D.C. today. A man who walked into a pizza parlor with an assault rifle claimed he was there to investigate a strange report about something Hillary Clinton was involved in there. That was fake. Customers scrambled for the doors. That was real. Police arrested the guy later without incident. That was real, too. There wasn't much warning in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. Residents say there were no cell phone alerts about the fire that killed 13 people. And when the order to evacuate came, it came in the form of firefighters knocking on their doors with the flames right behind them. Some residents escaped with just the clothes on their backs. Emergency management officials blame power outages for the lack of electronic alerts.
More than 20,000 people are stranded at an airport in China. Thick clouds of smog and heavy fog are preventing planes from taking off at an airport. Officials are calling it the worst fog to hit the area in years.
Certified most accurate by Weather Rate. Now your First Warn 5 forecast with meteorologist Dan Giroux.
The snow has created some beautiful scenery across mid-Michigan, but not everybody enjoying it. There are some folks that aren't a fan of the snow, and they're looking forward to it moving out. It will eventually. Let's take a look at First Warn 5 pinpoint Doppler, and you can see that it's already starting to move out of parts of mid-Michigan, but other areas it is still in full swing. And if we zoom in here to Lapeer County, you'll see that's where the heaviest of the snow is, just east of Lapeer around Imlay City, and now headed towards North Branch, Brown City, and Yale. And it's also in parts of Sandusky County as well. We will continue to slowly see that move out of mid-Michigan. In the meantime, well, we're dealing with mainly cloudy skies and a little bit of snow out there. Here's a look outside in Saginaw, and we're taking a look at temperatures generally around 32 degrees, and it feels like it's 32 because these winds are calm. And so ironically, generally when we have a storm like this, we're seeing winds out there that are a little bit stronger than no wind at all. But it's not going to be able to blow that snow around, and generally what we're going to be seeing is just that snow falling, and it makes it a little bit more serene than we would normally see. Let's take a look at our next stop in Bay City. 33 degrees, and you can see the snow continuing to falling out there, but it's really not too bad. And then finally in Flint, it is also 30 degrees, and you can see the light flashing out there at Bishop International Airport. And I-75 moving along okay, but give yourself a little bit extra time. Other temperatures across mid-Michigan right now, we're looking at temperatures generally in the low 30s. It's 32 right now in Bad Axe, 33 in Cairo, and then we'll move over to the west. 32 Elma, 32 as well in Mount Pleasant, and 31 right now in Houghton Lake. So this big swath of moisture slowly starting to exit, and you can see there is plenty of it associated with this system. And well, to our south, they're dealing with rain and not much in the way of snow. Closer to home, we did deal with that snow moving in through this evening, and parts of western Michigan actually saw closer to 4, even 5 inches of snow out there. we don't have to worry about that anymore. In fact, it's on its way out. Let's take you through the first one, 5-hour-by-hour forecast starting at midnight, and you can see it's already almost halfway through the viewing area. That pushes east, and all of a sudden, we're dry by almost 2 a.m. Maybe a lingering flurry or two, but for your morning commute tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. or 8 a.m., it's going to be dry. It stays that way even into our day on Tuesday as well. Our next system does try to skirt mid-Michigan, but a lot of this does manage to fizzle out before it gets to us. So we're not looking at much in the way of precipitation here in the next couple of days. Maybe an additional half-inch or so as we go into the overnight hours, but we mostly stay dry. Then the rest of tonight, that rain ends after 2 a.m. Cloudy skies, and we'll be dealing with winds light out of the south, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Then for your day tomorrow, expect those temperatures to rebound to the low 40s, and that's when we continue to see mostly cloudy skies. It should not be very wet. Your first 7-day forecast. Temperatures rebound slightly for Tuesday. There is a chance of rain on Tuesday, but it's going to be for far southeastern counties. Otherwise, we see chances for lake effect snow into next weekend.
Welcome to winter.
Just about, yeah. But you know what? It's December. It had to happen sometime, right?
It was a really pretty snowfall earlier today, but careful out on the roads, right?
Yeah, be careful out on the roads, and you're probably going to have to brush your car off when you guys leave the station tonight, too. And you will, too, tomorrow morning.
All right, thanks, Dan.
Thanks, Dan, and thank you for staying up late with us for TV5 News. Drive safely, please, and keep it right here because Sports Extra is next. Have a great week.
Now, with coverage you can count on, you're watching Sports Extra.
For those hip-hop, you've heard DJ Khaled say pretty much two things. Another one and we the best. Well, folks, the Detroit Lions playing another one today, visiting New Orleans, and guess what? We the best. Theo Riddick gets the Lions' first touchdown against the Saints today. Detroit leading 3-0 in the second. Riddick snags the 1-yard TD toss from Matt Stafford. It's 10-0 Lions. Home team trying to rally in the fourth down, 19-6. John Kuhn elevates over the pile for his own 1-yard score. Saints within 6, but Golden Tate comes up large for the Lions. Stafford to Tate, who does the rest. No big deal, just a 66-yard touchdown. Detroit back up big, 25-13. Drew Brees with a touchdown pass in 60 straight home games. Not today, as he's picked off 3 times, including the Miles Killebrew interception on the last play of the game. Detroit really quite dominant, wins it 28-13. They're now 8-4. The college football playoffs this year will not include Michigan. The Wolverines 6th in the rankings will take on Florida State in the Orange Bowl December 30th. The Seminoles ranked 11th. It'll be just the 3rd meeting ever between the two teams, first in a bowl game. The Chippewas of CMU bowl bound as well. The maroon and gold headed to the Miami Beach Bowl on December 19th. Central set to take on Tulsa. The last time those two teams met was 1987. CMU won it big by the final score of 41-18. January 2nd, Central's biggest rival, the Western Michigan Broncos, will compete in the Cotton Bowl. The 15th ranked Broncos match up with number 8 Wisconsin. Both teams played in their respective conference championship, with Western winning the MAC and Wisconsin losing in the Big Ten. And one more MAC team from here in the state, the Eagles of Eastern Michigan, play in the Popeyes Bahamas Bowl against Old Dominion December 23rd. I am what I am. Okay, not that Popeye, but hey, Eastern, if you need someone to tag along, I'll take a trip to the old Bahamas with you. Can't wait to see how all of those teams do in their respective games. Lots more to talk about after a quick timeout, including the Greater Flint Area Sports Hall of Fame welcoming in their class of 2016 this weekend. Hear from the new inductees when we return.
If you love to watch what you want, when you want it, anywhere you want, Xfinity is the clear choice with this incredible offer. Get internet and TV with a choice of HBO or Showtime for just $39.99 a month. Download the Xfinity TV app and your content is mobile, and watch those favorites on the go with millions of Xfinity's fastest nationwide hotspots. Combine all that with in-home internet service of 25 megabits per second for just $39.99 per month for 12 months. Call 1-800-XFINITY today.
It's the moment when the bravest, most frozen solid girl in the neighborhood gets warmed up. And the moment when the son who never turns out the lights gets reminded. What? Again. You can count on Consumers Energy to power the moments that matter most and help you manage your monthly energy costs with a variety of energy efficiency programs and over 250 other ways to save. Learn more at consumersenergy.com/myhome.
Your tractor may be your hobby or your livelihood. At Steiner Tractor Parts, we share your enthusiasm for these antique machines and know you need to keep them running. We understand how your life and job both stop if your tractor stops running. Our Mid-Michigan warehouse is stocked with new parts, tune-up kits, electrical components, carburetors, and rebuild kits, and much more. Stop into Steiner Tractor Parts today. Log on to steinertractor.com for our complete catalog.
Godwin's Furniture and Mattresses holiday sale is the best time to save this holiday season. Hurry into Godwin's and save on the largest selection of Lazy Boy in mid-Michigan. Lazy Boy recliners, just $2.99. Lazy Boy sofas, only $6.89. Lazy Boy reclining sofas, just $7.99. Shop more great holiday buys throughout the store. Like 5-piece dining sets, only $4.99. Queen beds, just $2.49. Beauty Sleep Queen mattress sets, starting at $2.99. Plus 0% financing is available.
Well, tracking winter weather is a far different animal than what we tend to see in the summer months. Systems tend to move in more slowly, so we have a little bit more time to prepare. But the effects of a big winter storm can last for days. It's our job to let you know what's happening hour by hour and provide you with Mid-Michigan's most accurate snow predictions. And with Mid-Michigan's only live Doppler radar, we can show you exactly where the most snow will fall.
Be safe, be informed. WNEM First Warn 5. Winter weather coverage you can count on. Got a new tablet or smartphone for the holidays? Make sure you unwrap our app. Get instant news, weather, and school closings, plus live stream. Download the WNEM TV5 app today. Coverage you can count on.
Welcome back. For the final time, Joe Louis Arena played host to the Ontario Hockey League, including a local junior team. Jason Fielder has the story.
Tonight, Saginaw Spirit hockey fans invaded Detroit to watch their team play at Joe Louis Arena.
For Saginaw to play in the Joe, come on, man, it don't get any better than that, you know. But sorry to see the old girl go.
The Spirit took on the Windsor Spitfires in a game the OHL is calling the Farewell to the Joe, with Little Caesars Arena set to open next year.